أهلا بكم في بطولة عالمية للعبة فاير، حيث سنرى مواجهات أسطورية بين أقوى الفرق. تتنافس هذه الفرق حول جائزة $1,000,000، فمن سينالها يا ترى؟ تابعوا حتى النهاية.
أهلا وسهلا بكم مشاهدين الكرام في هذا الحدث الاستثنائي، حيث الحماس يبلغ ذروته والإثارة تشتعل من جديد. اليوم نعيش معكم أجواء بطولة فاير التي تجمع بين أقوى اللاعبين وأشجع الفرق من مختلف الأماكن في ساحة واحدة عنوانها التحدي والإصرار.
نعم، اليوم هو يوم التحدي النهائي للفوز، لذلك فالحماس مشتعل ونترقب البداية. فلدينا هنا بعض لقطات قدوم أفراد الفرق. الآن شاهدوا معنا.
We have the Jamal Motorsports player arrival cam ready to go. The players are leaving the hotel and they're boarding the shuttles and they'll be heading their way to the venue. Our top 12 teams, they are here. They played Point Rush yesterday. They secured their head start points for the grand final. And with these last final moments, you have to think, how do you play your best? How do you play better than everyone else? That's the ultimate goal. To beat the competition, you need to outdo them.
كان ذلك رائعا. يبدو لي أن الجميع في قمة الاستعداد لهذا اليوم، خاصة بعد معاناتهم في منافسات الإقصائيات التي كانت كالتالي.
You can get a glimpse as to how these teams were feeling yesterday, what kind of emotions were coming out, and you can see here for the teams that did well, high fives, smiles across the board. There's teams even talking mid-game. We saw Rata just for a moment there, deep in concentration. There's a lot happening emotionally on the stage that the viewers at home, unfortunately, you guys don't get to see this, but
the energy is it's so different, right? It's electric when you feel yourself shoulder to shoulder with another fan shouting for the.
نعم، المنافسة على الشكل التالي. هذه هي نقاط الترتيب للفرق، ولدينا ترتيب الفرق حسب الإقصائيات السابقة. في نهاية الدورة من يتحصل على أعلى نقاط يفوز، وهذا يعني لا تكفي البياه فقط، بل عليك قتل أكبر عدد ممكن للفوز.
هنا مشاهدينا يقف المتنافسين، هنا يقف الأساطير، لكن واحد منهم فقط من سيغادر فائزا. هنا لا مجال للتراجع، كل رصاصة قد تغير مسار البطولة، وكل قرار قد يصنع بطلا جديدا.
أيها الأبطال، استعدوا، فالمواجهات النارية على وشك أن تبدأ، والبويا لن يناله إلا الفريق الأكثر قوة، ذكاء وتماسكا. اللاعبين الآن في استعداد، وبعضهم يدعو ليفوز. أنها بداية التوتر، وبداية شعلة الحماس، وأجواء نارية.
Possible with their aim for the final circle as well as the booyah when they truly need it, because at the Southeast Asian final, fortunately that luck didn't last very long. They didn't even make it past Point Rush to be here at the grand finals. But of course, as we kick off game number 1 out of potential 10 here, we start things off at Bermuda, and this map is usually conquered by the Southeast Asian squads.
First of all, we have to look at the drop spots. Nothing out of the ordinary so far, and it's been quite a while since we see the teams actually play a gift.
Some say all roads lead to Rome, but I say at Bermuda, all zip lines lead you to peak. And who stands at peak is put it up. My goodness me, Lost finding an early one here onto RRQ, but we know that can match up to what Dutz is pulling in as well, that AUG should be able to reach him.
And we are also seeing signs of teams who want to get down and dirty early on. Rigby with another collection.
Fighter on the battlefield, the best thing that you can do is do your homework. Find out where everybody else loves to play and where everybody else rotates through. And AGAL just found Peter. rotating through their midst, and they did not think twice. Shot it down instantaneously. Question is, do they now go in for the hunt? Noda staying silent. Cypher M590 in hand. Noda spotted out. Plays the corner really well. Decent blue wall pulled up by Cypher. And a counter tag as well. Barros comes in here for the bait and switch. Going in for the shutdown. And Dew is there for the shots as well. The rest of the players from Pain, though, Motovia helping them out from afar very effectively with the VSK.
Has the air support, but unfortunately the numbers are dwindling for the side of Pain Gaming. Gus having to run away. So AGAL have an advantage. 3-2. Chinoy, Cypher, Barros all gunning for Gus, who is trying to turn the corner, puts out the glue wall on one end, but he's quickly running out of defensive resources. And finally AGAL catches up onto him. There's really nothing much that Motovia can do, and Pain Gaming forced to concede.
Very surprisingly slow shutdown from AGAL. This does not look like a prime squad at this point of time, which they'll have to worry about a little bit later on. Pain Gaming, on the other hand, has got more to worry about. Final player on the battlefield. And they will be the first team to get painfully taken out of the race here at the grand finals. But then again, Bermuda was never a map that belonged to the Brazilians.
Finally forced away. The utility usage from Dragon Esports is on point. And the same for Flocto, trying to flush RRQ out. Massive damage being dealt. The glue wall will be preemptively used as the fight between Dragon and EVOS now breaks out. Dragon Esports winning in terms of numbers. EVOS, you don't want to go down that early, but the numbers are definitely falling down to a 1v1. C4 getting caught behind. EVOS saved by Ray.
Seifu, instead of using the glue wall to block off any potential damage and pick up his buddy, went for that super med, instead paid a high price for it. And now the grenade, no follow-up earlier on, but it has given enough time for RRQ to play the recovery. Time turn on top of everything else. Pulled out as well, just in case anything was to happen from those windows. Mahal still sees some action. Dudes gets a grenade onto Bob, and Buriram cleans up house, and the victims are the Indonesians. RRQ.
Just one grenade for 3.
One more
than worth it. Second it comes through. A bit of a chip damage. You actually stolen away by Dew from AGAL, who finally joins the party. BRU still can afford to play slow, but for Flocto, they paid a high price. EVOS now fighting against Vitality, and EVOS completely outnumbered. Vitality, they just need to be patient and surgical. Core memory gets wiped out off screen, but EVOS somehow is holding on dang well with only 2.
AGAL taking a little bit of advantage of that chaos there, hitting away at both squads, walking away with the most points off of the Indonesians. Thailand smiling year to year at this point of time, looking at AGAL as well as put it up, but it's not over till it's over. EVOS, 2 players up against Koja, but both squads need to be very wary of AGAL and their position. The circle now forcing all 3 squads to move inch by inch. Nobody wants to sit in the open circle just yet.
Only 2 teams have a full squad alive, BRU and AGAL. EVOS trying to circle Koja, coming for the pincer maneuver. Koja takes a 1v1, and that's step number 1. The execution confirms the elimination. Koja only has to deal with Kochiu, and things are not looking good. At least not for Koja. He's gonna try to navigate the blue zone. Couple of blue walls left. That's the last reserve that he has. Save for Kochiu, both on the last place. But blue wall melter from AGAL. The Indonesians might just fall victim to the ties.
Yeah, Kochiu looking at Koja, but AGAL showing up just in time to knock Kochiu down onto the ground. Koja will be ripped away by Moshi, and Thailand will stand strong in the final circle. This Bermuda map belongs to Southeast Asia, and AGAL and Buriram both proving that. Fluxo falling out in third, surviving long enough, but Buriram looking for the absolute shutdown. Sniper taken away from AGAL. Chinoy, down you go, they say, but Chinoy just standing up long enough to get a knock, and Buriram starting things off hot here. Question is, can they keep up this momentum they're building?
Cinematic opening.
إذا بعد كل مباراة لدينا ترتيب الفرق، ويتغير حسب الأداء في كل جولة. وهنا لدينا أقوى الفرق التي تقتل عدد كبير من اللاعبين. الآن مشاهدين الطائرة الحربية تتحرك لتعلن دخول المعركة الثانية.
Yeah, and everybody's kind of getting excited that Buriram got it. They're gonna go all the way again, but we have to acknowledge that was one of Buriram's best maps. Look, so in Brazil, y'all gotta understand this is the world stage, baby. They don't respect, they don't disrespect, but they want to put your heads on the chopping block. But R7, they bet. Look so, and they did not walk away with a single head start point. And thankfully right now at Mount Villa, all cleared up. Fluxo went away. Now golf course as well as Mount Villa belongs
to Central, where our RQ's headquarters are established. Russia instantly punished. Does bring himself back up to his speed. Is ready now, hunts for Ma'ao. You take care of Ma'ao. You take care of long-range support. Ma'ao down in the low, but still not confirmed. Knockdown rate to Oscar. Dash. More than enough time to go for the swing. Kochu finding Kiba off speed. Evos taking a gamble and is paying off.
Work play here for the side of RRQ, but a single survivor left standing in the name of Dudes. 2v1. Rasya has got the plasma gun, but Dude says, down you go, baby. You'll always be the kid behind me. 1v1, time turner, aim gone, and 590 plays the meta, but the time turner wins it. And RRQ showing why they the big brothers.
And thankfully, bigger rotation, straight hit to AGL and Evos. Falcons landing in the middle of the firefight, able to duck into the first floor of the building. Evos will hold the perimeter, but as the siren sounds one last time, at least for the next safe zone, Evos most likely will be the first team to make a move, and Falcons, they gotta be ready to accept this.
And this map is known at this point of time as the Brazilian map, but if Pain takes on loss very early on, the chances will dwindle down instantaneously. Look at those grenades rain down on Pain, bringing exactly that to the team members, putting them out in 6th. Now Loss, the final team out of Brazil, has to take on both EVOS as well as Falcons, who are absolutely sharp with their positioning right now out there on this Purgatory map.
Remember we talked about how DRG needed to make a necessary rotation, and that has kept them in top 5. The only team without a full squad, but this circle is going to force Evos to move. There is a chance that they ended up fighting Lost first. DRG now caught in the middle of the crossfire, ripped by rhythm from AGAL, and now it breaks into chaos. DRG targeted by multiple teams, wiped out in 5th, and Evos runs towards Lost.
And Evos actually taking the outer rotation. This puts them in the crosshairs of Falcons, who do not think twice. Taking those shots, grenades won't find a connection onto Russia. Glue wall melted, repeating the defense made here by Evos. But the question is, can they get away? Oscar does run through those glue walls, but brings them no knockdowns just yet. Rigby needs one more shot, but Rosa's cold shield has got the rate of fire, but the backup from nowhere.
Great valiant dash to break down the defenses of Lost, to give Evos a fighting chance. 12 elimination, 13 on the dock, and Rasya from afar with almost no HP, willing to fight to the death. AGAL joins the equation and give him a bit of a knuckle sandwich in the face of Evos as AGAL makes themselves known. Evos out in form. AGAL now faces against Falcons.
Lots going in for yet another booyah, but with just a single player, this looks nearly impossible. Falcons up against AGAL. Dew has got the M590 in his hands, but he's not the intended CQC player. Still alive and kicking. He's out of his comfort zone, but still getting the knocks for AGAL, putting Falcons and their team members 6 feet under. But one final one left standing. Limit missing his AWM shot, not doing him any favors at all.
There's going to be a chance for Limit to clutch this. It needs to be able to identify where Dew and Cypher are at. They're currently still running in a straight line. That shot has to connect. A dash in front, Cypher in the face of Limit. Limit is out in the blue. He's just too tough. AGAL will find the first booyah in the grand finals.
Second booyah here at Purgatory for AGAL.
Evos Divine and RRQ. Initially, it was RRQ who won that battle against, as they call it, the younger
Abai is already doing a very good job with the help of even Dudes clutching out 2v1 in a lot of scenarios. But then you look at players like Peter alongside within the map, already goes to show that this playstyle does have its benefits. But I think it's only going to maintain for maybe 2.
والآن بدون كثرة الانتظار ننتقل إلى المعركة الثالثة.
It's a very bloody fight between them and RRQ on Purgatory, and then they came out on top after a gruesome recovery sequence. Right now in Kalahari, it seems like we're I think there's only so many rounds you can fall behind in Champion Rush before it really comes out to the state where you have no choice but to ruin other people's chances.
A hit list taken up here by EVOS, and that instantly sends for a early hunt. Buriram taking out a hit list, targeting the players of Dragon. This is not good for business at all for Saudi Arabia. Dragons need to fly away as quickly as possible.
Especially when they are currently a lot of teams, because EVOS did come in with some head start points.
Yeah.
And you don't want to feed them extra, because EVOS, they have a prophecy to fulfill.
Absolutely. And Zenzi has got a life to protect his own. Man has got enough coins to buy back his team members, but no vending machine around, and Coach Hill, M590 to the head, and EVOS off to a fantastic. That would most definitely be the dream run for EVOS after 6 years of grabbing a championship on the world stage. It will most definitely be sweet for both Russia and the squad. It's definitely going to be a tad bit hot. But I know why you just said whoa, because the Brazilians, Fluxo, just made a crazy rotation.
That is mad. They just flew right past BRU. You just, out of a footnote on EVOS, if they do win this, it will be the first organization to win Falcons in their home ground. This is the nest of the Falcons, but for EVOS, they know that they have the upper hand.
They definitely have the upper hand and the high ground advantage rate. M590, Metagun finds a good connection, and the Oscar breaks it down to the Valiant Dash, and the follow-up from Russia from nowhere. Limit will sneak away to keep the team alive at least for the time being, and aim God, what a shot! And just like that, your reigning champions Falcons being snuffed out. Aim God with the Woodpecker, easy shot to the head. The one final survivor on fire. EVOS about to snuff out the sounds from the crowd. And with that shot, Aim God puts Falcons to rest.
You can hear the
hit like a truck in the current meta. And EVOS is flirting with the edge of the circle, but they do have a jump pad that they can make good work with. Lost on the other hand, one player down. Hanaral not gonna get picked up just yet. Ray M590 and Aone from afar saves the day, buys his team members a few extra seconds.
Great save by Aone, but
GG.
The Riptide Rhythm went wide, so those glue walls for EVOS ended up being their greatest cover. That could have been a turnaround point for loss, but I think they have just missed that opportunity. EVOS scoring another big bag. And I just gotta say, with that win, they're gonna face off AGAL, but they're past the halfway point to a champion rush. And AJ, they're not stopping AGAL now on the hit list.
This is insane. They lay out the jump pad, and they hit down player after player, forcing AGAL to scramble. The grenade fighting one, Cypher. Let the man play his medkit at the very least. A1 hopping on in, crushing the hopes of the Thai squad. There's a vending machine here to play with. Chinoy backing away. Aim God not giving up just yet. Finds the connection with the M590. And Ray comes by to say hello as well. 14 eliminations strong. EVOS, what are they on?
They're definitely on the high tide, and nothing can stop them.
Enough to buy them enough time for that recovery. Vitality snuffed out courtesy of RRQ. The next circle, though, sees EVOS sitting comfortably without anybody to tickle them just yet.
This could be that big round. This could be the golden ticket for EVOS if it continues. DRG, great Steffi usage as Pain Gaming starts to bombard and spray down Fluxo with straight up lead. DRG, they are trying to hold on in this area, but at one point you gotta fight. Great Riptide Rhythm. All the defenses of Pain Gaming start to crumble bit by bit. R7, they want some blood. Peter get crosshair, but good time turner to block the bullets.
Fluxo stands no chance here. They flew on in, and everybody takes their shots up against Fluxo, knocking them down on the 7th spot. Dragons taking advantage of the situation as well. You go, Dragons, you go. Great use of that Steffi earlier on caused that survival gameplay, because Wasana and squad were chucking everything, including the kitchen sink, grenade after grenade at Dragons, and Steffi saving them all. 3 more players, but time is running out. Pain Gaming evacuating the situation. Dragons now can potentially spoil the play of Buriram.
And RRQ can do the same. Wasana, he needs help right now. Riptide Rhythm Massive one from RRQ. Ma'ao getting the job done, and the finisher to boot. Moshi not extending a chance. A quad for Ma'ao. The sniper of the Rex Brigham Keon. 9, 10 eliminations, 11 on the docket. RRQ on the board.
My God, Dragon snuffed out as well. This is the shooting range. Everybody is a prey as far as the Indonesians are concerned. But the threat is up on a hill, on a rock that they call their own. R7 now, high ground advantage, about to turn into a disadvantage as the circle slowly pushes them on in. Rasya finding Joker. That's the disadvantage we talk about. But the distraction from RRQ is going to keep R7 alive.
Big rematch in these two squads. Rasya needs help, but he actually gets himself picked back up. The Diva works out for EVOS. 15 eliminations, ducks behind the wall. Temporary ceasefire between these two teams, and the Coda scan. EVOS knows what's in front of them, and Ma'ao takes the brunt of it. Games King from behind. EVOS, they might have a good opportunity to close this out. 17 eliminations.
And the circle moving towards EVOS. R7 stopping RRQ.
Oh
distracting them. Kiba being shot by EVOS as well. Aim God finds hacks. The team of R7 now being slowed down. Aim God moving on in. Valiant Dash breaking down their defenses and breaking down their hopes as well. Game King as the final survivor, struggling to pick up his team members. But EVOS calls it to an end. Strikes a booyah at Kalahari.
33 points, a booyah, and 21 eliminations. EVOS once more.
Right there, even AGAL couldn't do anything, and towards the end, I mean, just grabbing that booyah seems easy enough for them.
المعركة الرابعة مشاهدين، والطائرة تستعد الآن للإقلاع، والجنود يستعدون للقفز بالمضلات وصنع التاريخ.
But in the final round, they had one of the worst start ever.
Yeah.
But if they can prevent that, key teams like Falcons and Pain.
And you see the proficiency of all of these pro teams, always dropping in with a 3-1 split in case anybody comes hunting for some heads. But of course, thankfully, no early hot drop. But Buriram taking advantage of the situation as Dragons try to find that reposition out in the open. Oh my lord, they're just crossing the pathway of Buriram, and these shots are easy for that 1 single second thanks to the elevation of
A sitting duck. I think BRU
done.
They're gonna get as much as they can. Good reptile rhythm, like you pointed out. That's gonna, discourage BRU, but not for long. Jonah is wrapping by the corner.
Yeah, Jonah is just going to be that irritating presence that makes this so much more difficult. FTL to the walls, my lord. The Dragons just can't seem to get away from these deadly players. But R7, they want some revenge. How dare you steal our point?
And that is massive. Seafolks getting down Wasana. BRU, they need to get him back up, but this is a hard line across, and R7, they are getting cleanings up. BRU will just abandon ship. R7 becoming the eventual winners of this, collecting 2 freebies off the board. 3 points for movie star R7.
Yeah, you steal 1, we take back 2. All's fair in love.
This team in their crosshairs. We see that early pickup onto Koja, a supply drop for them to work with. Remind is going to get found out. That blue wall only by some time. Good Valiant Dash from Pain Gaming. Beat up with the collection as DRG continues to live on survival.
Stay to find out what else can happen through his gun skills. With 300 coins, he's gonna be on the hunt for some of those coin machines for a little bit longer. Falcons, on the other hand, finding the mythical Dragons once again, who are so good at surviving. But can they slip away from these deadly predators?
So far, we're seeing some adjustments from BRU2. They're still hogging by Snowfall. RRQ against Luxo, another big fight.
Yeah.
And both teams cannot afford to lose this. They really need some collection, especially for Luxo, who are right down at the bottom with only 14 prior to this. And Bob's actually getting a buy, but Kiba instantly finds the exchange, and it's Kiba that comes out on top. But Luxo, they are just trying to fight to the death. Might as well give it all you got. Riptide Rhythm takes down at least 4 glue walls. Ma'ao with another backstab, and that could be another quick end for Luxo. GU needs to help put this in up, and he will do just that. But RRQ has the numbers.
Oh, Kiba had a good chance, but Ma'ao still keeps the odds on their side. Does not use the M79, pushes him down on the ground. Abe looking for the finisher. Drogon not finding the connection just yet, but the numbers game, even though GU does find Abe. Ma'al puts the end to Fluxo's run. The first team to get eliminated are your reigning world champs, as a matter of fact. That's
Run into Loss,
yeah.
but Vitality, they might just spoil the party.
I think RRQ will just stay for a little bit first, because the way the circle has been pushing in closer and closer towards Stadium and Rai, this will continue for yet another circle. But RRQ will have to move out of vantage either way though, because the circle usually does not fall onto those waters, because that's just a very difficult area to play with. Thankfully, that has been patched up in the past months. But as Falcons slowly rotate towards this little tiger's den in the name of EVOS, big team scrambling for a defensive spot in the next potential circle. It's not going to be deep into Stadium, that's for sure. So Falcons will be in a tad bit of trouble here as well.
I think EVO's just caught sight of Vitality. This could be what sets it all off. The chain reaction of this fight between Multi fighting out as well. Lost in the conversation. This party is about to get chaotic.
What a circle!
This is painful.
EVOS, Vitality, and AGAL. They just need to be the welcoming party for everyone. But a portal goal, so rare to be seen here in the current meta, used by Falcons to pull the rotation into a compound that serves up the best defense in the next circle. Brilliant rotation. Buriram, on the other hand, found by R7. Joker, VSK to the back of the sniper of the squad. Instantaneous retreat from the Buriram players.
Oh no.
Knocked down by the blue as well. This is not the kind of circle you want to tease.
That was panic by Buriram.
Yeah.
I looked at Wasana. He didn't even have grenades to work with. He has to win this by pure force. But unfortunately, R7 were more than prepared to fight that battle. And in fact, they are the ones coming out on top. Buriram now really into survival mode. They need some kind of cleanup, but they just do not have the numbers. They do not have the bodies. Lost eliminated off screen. Buriram completely crippled with just one left. R7 now makes a derotation. Joker getting on Jonah, trying to hold on 40 HP. But this is going to be lights out for BRU. They just could not pull it together. And Rastia finds Della. EVOS now shows.
Yeah, R7 wins the ego play, but both the squads getting tagged up bad by the blue, and they perish. Dragon still alive, the mythical creatures on the lower floor, up against Vitality up top. They can call it truce for the time being, but in 10 seconds it's about to be danger time. Dragon's calling in for the monster truck as well. They want to rotate, but that's the slowest vehicle you can use.
If EVOS wins this one, they're going to unlock champion rush condition no matter what. Replacement points and eliminations. This is the biggest fight. We saw the fans duking it out in the crowd, and we have been gifted with the ultimate showdown pretty early on in the most crucial moment for EVOS' history in their run in 25. But they are going to play it slow, and I like this.
Oh, nice.
I like this initiative.
Yeah, beautifully done. 8-1-2-4 pop, which means EVOS caught to their pants down. Have to play the recovery, and this circle hurts for sure. Ray needs to get away, but it's game over, baby. EVOS, Superman, kicking in at the very final second. Ray hanging on for those placement points. Unbelievable resiliency from this kid.
Saved by RRQ, Team Falcons. They say their prayers. They praise RRQ,
wow,
but at the cost of the entire squad. EVOS all so close. We're gonna check in by the end of this, but the rest of the team will now have one more extra round to play. We are definitely gonna make it to Solara at least.
Yeah.
That is a guarantee.
Somebody sneezed, bro, because EVOS
1 point away.
Stopped dead in their tracks. A tad bit unfortunate, but that's how the cookie crumbles here at Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, baby. This is Free Fire at EWC 25, and it does not get better than this. Dragon still hanging on, but that's the end for Sifu. Gets taken out, and we are with our top three. 2 C teams, 1 from Brazil. Pain looking to represent big time.
If Pain gets this win, we are going to get a grand finals on our hands, because AGL and RQ, they have been doing pretty well so far, but for Pain, they are the ones that have been suffering. The Red Tiger is to destroy all of the blue walls. That's 4 from Ma'al. Investment pretty heavy, but the price that they pay is also something that they can only bear for so long. Blue wall melters also tossed out. AGAL with the high ground vantage point to look over Pain Gaming as RRQ now faces the blue. They take the jump pad right opposite of AGAL, and it's just a firing race. The meat grinder of the Thai squad.
Yeah, the firing squad of AGAL, and the reason why RRQ and Pain Gaming did not go in there for the rush was because of the timely use of that A124. Wonderfully put a stop to their tracks, instantaneously slowing down the pace. But now it's Brazil up against Thailand. Who drags this Booyah away? Either way, both these teams are quite far away from activating that champion rush condition. This is just going to be a little bit of a souvenir that they can carry on into next Terra, where they're going to try to compete up against EVOS to activate. Can you imagine if you have multiple teams activating Champion Rush at the same time, Husky?
I would like to imagine, but thankfully it hasn't happened yet. Even EVOS got stopped at 79 points. That I can't believe. If Pain wins this, it would definitely benefit them a lot more because AGL already has a Booyah.
Oh, Dew does not have that Riptide rhythm, but thanks to the timing of this circle here, Pain Gaming backing away, the glue wall melters taking down their defenses, and Dew and his Riptide rhythm, they are fully engaged, activated already. Pain Gaming, if they take a fight on the outside, it will be trouble for them.
That's why you see Motovia moving up to the second floor. They need to find elevation, but the circle is not going to wait for long. Pain needs to make a decision right now. Riptide Rhythm, Steffi online for AGAL, so those grenades are not gonna do much. As long as it is timed correctly, they will block the first grenade with the glue wall, drop the monster truck, and use it for cover. Pain, what is the plan? Seems like they're gonna go for a 2-2 split.
Yeah, beautiful decision making here for Pain, and they do leave Motovia behind to deal with Chinoy. They will keep each other engaged. That A124 waiting for that final opportunity, but it will be Pain Gaming to pop it first. These players are now frozen. Pain Gaming has a few seconds to take advantage of the situation, but high ground advantage still held by Dew, and nobody else in his process. With Noda making one mistake, that guy goes down, and the gameplay for Pain crumbling down right after.
And Dew sets it up for the team. Sci-Fi and Barros will clean it up. AGAL second Booyah of the Grand Finals to put themselves one step closer to the top.
They needed...
Like I'm learning something, but what we also need to learn is the overall rankings, because we need to see where everyone currently is. Now, we already know how close EVOS is to unlocking the condition, but I think most importantly, how far is the competition from EVOS? And we can see that gap is starting to close, right?
الآن المعركة الخامسة تنطلق.
Still have some work to do. Stop AGAL, stop RRQ. In fact, stop the entire lobby if they can.
Yeah, you highlighted the right teams there. AGL drop. That would be hilarious and sad at the very same time.
Here we go.
Players have been spotted out already. The Coda has been popped on the side of Pain Gaming. And the standoff between Falcons and Lost is here as well at Rusttown. Unbelievable stuff all across this Alpine map.
Graph Labs is a pretty tricky spot to play it on Nexterra. And Legion teams, they love this. They love a challenge. They love that the innovation that the terrain of this map brings, the infrastructure that it provides. Rigby against Peter. This one's gonna be close. Peter and Rigby both down low. Rust up off screen. That's one knockdown. As that fight between EVOS and Pain now fully.
The confidence has dwindled down for EVOS, all thanks to Pain Gaming putting them in check. But now, Falcons up against R7. An opening here, but it is Della that takes advantage with the Bison. Pulls up the time turner as well. Uses it to back away on fire. Struck down Peter! M1017! The shot, he gets the hit. And backups on the way. They make quick work of R7. Unbelievable stuff out of Falcons.
Finally, Falcons show some signs of life. The fans desperately want
them. That's beauty. It's just pure style at Esports World Cup. And of course, the rematch between Fluxo and Put It Up. The two teams that seem to be struggling.
What used to be a rematch for dominance is now just a rematch for survival. Never thought that we would come to this permutation of the storyline, but here we are. The narrative continues between Fluxo and BRU as Fluxo are the ones engaging and initiating the assault. BRU laying out a labyrinth to keep Fluxo away. Butcherson is incredibly low, knocked down by the ability in the process. BRU now piles on forward. Fluxo could not overcome this nightmare that is Buriram United Esports.
Yeah, the 8-1-2-4 popped at prime time here, Jiu. Now needing to deal with the Riptide Rhythm, can't even pull up a decent glue wall to save himself. And Fluxo remains at the 12th spot. How unbelievable this is.
From the best to, at this point, the worst in the grand finals. EVOS, they're going to show up a great drop. Vitality, Dragon Esports core memory for the picking, and EVOS chooses core memory as their point of contact. They see Pain Gaming, they see RRQ, but they are somehow in a good position to fight all of them.
Yeah, RRQ needs 25 points minimum, but the way this is looking, it looks like it comes to an end right here, right now. Pain Gaming goes down, and Pain is what RRQ receives as well, courtesy of EVOS and all of those shots. Buriram, on the other hand, struggling to survive. A bus they will use to go back to the lobby.
And Rasta with the final blow too. 6 teams remain. Vitality now enters the picture. It's them against Lost. Dragon Esports will play slow, but somehow EVOS are still in a good spot.
Yeah, absolutely. They have got their minds in the right place here. Their head is set. It's not just about activating Champion Rush. It's about making sure they get as many points as possible, and if potentially they can stop AGAL from activating Champion Rush for themselves. And they are in prime position to do exactly that. Circle's going to start moving towards the team of Core Memory. AGAL in a deadly battle up against Vitality, and EVOS can play spoiler.
They certainly can. For themselves, for the trophy, or at least to catch another whiff, a sight of it that was placed right in front of them on that grand stage. AGAL with 5 eliminations, still holding strong, but Core Memory are not going to hold on for long. In fact, they are gone. EVOS finding another full wipeout, and now they have control.
AGAL needs to be finished off right here, right now, if EVOS wants to be the only team that activates Champion Rush through this match. And they'll have to depend on LOS right behind. But Dragons, the Saudi Arabian team, making a name for themselves once again. This is that team that has got ice cold stuff running through their veins in this hot freaking desert. Yasir taking 1 point back for the squad, and you just gotta love this, man. Everybody being tortured by the Habibis.
You ask them to punish AGAL, they go above and beyond.
Come on,
they punish Lost, they punish EVOS, everyone at the mercy of Dragon Esports, but EVOS survived. They make it through, losing 1 member in the process, but Dragons now finds themselves in a pickle.
Dragons Esports, it does not get better than this. This is that Cinderella run. I don't even need to see them as champions. They are already champions with the way they're playing out there right now. Lost on the rotation. AGAL surviving with Cypher, but only till I said that F590 to the back puts him out of the race. And it's now EVOS up against Lost, up against the Dragons.
And the Dragons Esports, they have high ground advantage, sure. But EVOS, they have the cover of the building. Riptide is going to take out that glue wall on the lair. Dragons dropping down for full-on fight. EVOS can't just let this unfold. They don't need to be a part of this. They've already have control. Rigby takes out the Mox. Lost also starting to lose body. General's going to knock down. Imgar joins the party as well. Takes out General. And Lost disengaged. They pull away. They don't want a direct confrontation with EVOS, but it is bound to happen.
Dragon finally down and out, but not out of our hearts, baby. EVOS up against Lost. Unbelievable quality. 17 eliminations. So close to activating the Champion Rush, and that has just fueled them up even further. But Sexy with those sexy shots. And 590 needs another connection. But Rasia in a CQC with the AWM. Unbelievable. He's still standing. Can he get a no-scope? He cannot. And it's Raone ends it. Brazil still has a reason to smile.
Lost gets their booyah, but EVOS Esports knows that all that effort that Lost put in is all for naught, because EVOS has put themselves in that position to win it all. They are the...
We do have the overall rankings ready, so let's have a look and see where everyone else is on the leaderboard and how far away they are from unlocking the win condition, because sure, EVOS might have it unlocked now, but if they don't get the booyah next round, but a team...
هذه المعركة السادسة، وسنقوم باختصار هذه المباريات كي ننتقل إلى آخر 3 مباريات نهائية.
esports, here to make history for their whole nation. Booyah! Under pressure, but masterful play, saving the whole competition from ending prematurely.
Definitely causing Falcon's elimination in the process as Vitality mops the floor with the remains of core memory, bringing them down to just one Zen seed. Really nothing much that he could do. Vitality 4 men strong. They still need to move towards the circle, and Fluxo for once has control. For once, Fluxo makes it to the end game.
Goods with the grows up. RRQ still looking for that booyah. They should be able to get this done. They need 5 eliminations in hand as well as the booyah to place a huge smile on their face and then later spoil the plays of their little buddies, EVOS Esports. Fluxo on the cleanup. And they want to prove that they are still the better Brazilian team, but it's going to be a high climb as they are at the bottom of this mountain.
At least they won't be last by the end of this, hopefully, with core memory that really showed up during Point Rush, but is a no-show in the grand finals. 5 teams remain. Vitality having a good shot at this. Both get knocked down, and Kyung will turn the corner for number 2 with the help of Geek. Dragon Esports not standing a chance, and Vitality showing that this marathon is not ending yet.
Not yet for sure. 2 more players on the side of RRQ to activate Champion Rush seems to be impossible at this point of time, as it is Dragons that makes it even more difficult. Leaving a Bay all alone for the Indonesian squad. Vitality alive and kicking, the kings of this map. Not here at the Esports World Cup though.
Definitely not. Solara will not be the finishing line. We go again. Bob taking out Peter. Pain Gaming out in 5. Only one team has a full squad, and that's Vitality, sitting right in the middle of the safe zone. Final circle threatens to close in. Dragon Esports still has one lone survivor, yes, but it's Fluxo that has a chance.
I mean, again, Dragons, what an unbelievable run here at the Esports World Cup.
Pure survival.
Pure survival, and that's what Battle Royales are all about. They got to sharpen up their capabilities in terms of taking away these eliminations though. But I sure as hell can bet we will see more from this squad in the years to come. Vitality, Bob, split blitz, 3 of those lanes finding the connections, and Bob's barricading himself in a maze of blue walls. Pushes in, comes in for the save, but he gets sprayed down. Koja fires Vitality, running this final circle. Gio left standing just for this moment. 57 HP left on him, and Vitality makes quick work of that as well.
And the only thing left is to clean up the pieces, and that's Yasir from Dragon Esports. And Vitality knows that they've gotten this round in the bag. Finally, some signs of life from this team. We've been doubting them, we've been questioning them, but at least this booyah is going to give us one more round to play. Indonesian fans, they were not able to lean on EVOS to lift the trophy, but they can still lean on Team Vitality as one.
Very messy. There's a lot of mechanics, a lot of like awkward glue wall positionings that we've seen teams do within their own compounds, which doesn't really make any sense, especially when you're thinking about windows. There's only one line.
Back to Bermuda, the randomizer shows up, and Solara comes back in here to make this as random as it can be. It's the same map, but it's just going to be a totally different compound by the time we get to the final circle. A high probability of us getting pulled towards the Riders Club as well as Funfair, and this is just not looking fun. If out of those 4 teams are from Indonesia. In this grand finals, there are only 3 Indonesian teams. What a year once again for Indonesia. Fluxo flying on in, jump pad straight to the roof, and Steffi do the save. No grenades, don't touch them just yet. Those glue walls blocking out all of those shots. Buriram cannot predate on them just yet.
Dragon Esports once more makes it to top 6, and now they're going to be under fire by Fluxo and RRQ. It's not an easy rotation. Vitality wants a piece of the pie, and they get all of them. Dragon Esports picked apart left, right, and center. But as this continues, Vitality makes their presence known. RRQ on the lower ground, BRU watching the perimeter. Red Tyrant on top of the roof. Fluxo now next on the crosshairs as Lost takes them out.
I wanted to say not every day is Sunday for Dragons, but today is Sunday, and Remind is still alive and kicking. A great survival play coming through from The players out of Saudi Arabia. Remind, sneaking on in, but with the F. This is just the way you use those grenades. Dragons Esports out of the race and lost looking for the booyah.
Not just lost, but vitality.
I mean, lost doesn't need a lot of points
Lost
at
has
all.
a point too. I mean, we completely, sideline the story of some of these players. NetShoeMiners.gg.
Yeah.
4th place last year.
Underdogs last year. They came in with a lot of promise, but when the grand final started, they became the underdogs once again. But if Fluxo cannot deliver, if Pain cannot deliver, we will deliver. The Lost Boys once again ain't lost anymore. Looking for the booyah. And for the time being, all of the action has managed to avoid them.
Vitality makes the first move. Riptide Rhythm takes out the blue wall. Pyong needs to be able to get to safety, and they sure do. That puts them to the edge of the perimeter. BRU makes the first move into the circle. They don't want the power of this, but they run into MT7 and lost as well. The Brazilians not letting BRU rest. The grenades just barely bounced by the members of Vitality. RRQ now making initiative, but if RRQ doesn't survive this, Vitality has a good shot of being in champion rush mode. And the RRQ, they don't want Vitality to be in a position of power. They make sure that Vitality stays down for another round.
Oh, brilliant play by RRQ, but now it's up against Lost. The Brazilians who desperately need massive points off of this game. They need 21 points to activate Champion Rush. Those grenades looking for them, but thankfully just glue wall melters. Riptide Rhythm breaking down the defenses of the Bay, but had a truck right in front of him to block off those shots. Monster Truck playing its role as defense as well, as the Bay makes it up to the top of the rock. Now this boulder serving as defense, M590 in hand, and Lost says we don't want to deal with this. They back away from the fight.
It's not going to be easy. Haone finding a nade onto Ma'ao, and that is going to be green light for Lost to push on forward to get them close to that champion rush condition, but they're holding gets knocked down. Lost losing Rigby in the process. They need some time to recover. Deuce gets knocked down. It's down to just Kiba. He was the representative from Onyx back then, but Lost shuts down the show. And another round we go.
An unbelievable performance from Lost. They needed 21 points.
Who has unlocked the condition? If it doesn't happen now, I don't think it ever happens.
It's gonna be a really tough battle here, because I know for a fact teams on that second page are not gonna let these Indonesians run away with it.
Kalahari, where Indonesia usually reigns supreme, but if you sleep on them, they will make you pay, they will make you regret. We're talking about to avoid the early engagements or potentially go in for the hunt. Because looking at Fluxo and Buriram, they have got absolutely nothing. Very quickly hightail it out of there. Potentially losing 2 players here to the hands of Buriram.
Good scan from Falcons early on. They just caught wind of Evos making a rotation. So they know that someone is passing through confinement towards Santa.
Fluxo once but twice now. Yeah, the Esports World Cup. Continue to do so. Well, thanks to the fact that the revivals are there.
Will be sweet. That's how they lost last year, but it seems like that will be put on hold if Vivos wins this one. They've already gotten the initial elimination onto Moshi, and that's already a pillar down.
It's a big if here because Buriram, as deadly as ever, looking for the champion rush activation. Jonah, captain, taken down. Wasana with the trade though, but Rasia very quickly puts him down onto the ground. Moshi, final player in the mix. And thankfully, he managed to hightail it out of there.
Towards the edge, the perimeter of the safe zone, and Evos now finds himself smack in the middle of everything.
And the next circle finally shows itself, dragging us straight down towards the southern side of this Kalahari map. The sub command post. Pretty much in there.
Vitality just for RRQ. Pain Gaming could be a third party. Fluxo could do the same.
Oh, wow.
Don gets knocked down. Lost puts themselves on the map. Remember, this team, the only Brazilian representative that has a chance to win it all. They did strong in Kalahari last year as well. That was what put them in the conversation.
But the circle is going to be the bigger predator as it forces everybody to scurry on it.
Yes, the Brazilians prey on each other and none of them get the win. it would be a throwback to 2022 in Bangkok. That was how BRU won.
Yeah, man.
That was how BRU won, not just
that was literally how BRU won.
just by methods of infighting between the Brazilians and Nigma Galaxy not able to hang on. And you do that callback and you look at Dew again, he always is in one of those storylines. Russia getting a knock onto Rigby. Pain now springs into action against AGAL, and they are winning. This AGAL side, they want to keep on going because if Pain takes them out, this could be the final round for AGAL. Dew is sacrificing the process. The main character is out, and now it's up to the rest of the team to keep it intact.
Can you get it done without your prime sniper? They still do have the backup marksman in Cypher. High ground advantage. And AGAL does not need to rotate too far away, but they will have to sacrifice that high ground in a little bit.
Focus is gone.
On the other hand, falters as Lost takes the fight to them and wipes them out instantly.
The only team in the center of the circle is RRQ, and that is one of the teams that can win this. We say that this is Indonesia's map, but RRQ have always ruled Kalahari. Evos now get some room to breathe and move. AGAL not done just yet with Pain. Peter on the ground, and Cypher confirms the takedown. Gus and Noda in the 2v3. Motovia supporting them from afar, but R7 now is going to join the conversation. A three-way fight.
AGAL, one of the teams that has activated the Champion Rush condition. In fact, all 4 teams that have activated it is still alive and kicking. The numbers not looking strong on the side of Lost. All thanks to vitality of all teams. As R7 scrambles looking for the circle, AGAL playing with fire on top of this hill.
Evos has to start moving as the circle closes in, and Pain slowly losing members. R7, they have a good spot to work with. AGAL confirms a triple for Chinoy, taking down stragglers from the side of Dragon Esports. As R7 out in a spot, AGAL continues to run, but still Pain not done just yet. And AGAL, they're gonna run straight in. Lost gets eliminated off screen. Pain Gaming, bodies dropping, barrels getting dropped, but AGAL stands strong.
Puriram's out of the race as well. Pain Gaming deleted.
Oh no.
Unbelievable. AGAL very low on the chances of walking away with the Booyah, looking at the numbers that they have alive. RRQ almost losing one, but you see the focus on the pickup. The Mets are out. Evos looking for their brothers. They want to end this right here, right now. Steffi Pop, your grenades can't touch it.
3v4. If Evos pulls this off, it would be a miracle on top of one, but Fluxo don't want to let it happen. Fluxo, they want a piece of the pie. They can feel that they are close to it. Ray is low, needs some time. Grenade launcher in hand, but doesn't have the space to use it. Aim got absorbing pressure, grabbing attention, but he can't hold on for too long. Vitality now is in the radar, and in fact, Vitality will help up Evos a little bit, taking down one of the Fluxo members as Menti7 strikes back. Evos now stuck in the middle with RRQ and Fluxo around him.
GG for Dew! As Ray returns fire with the M79, grenade launcher fighting him and Fluxo. They don't get to ruin the chances of Evos just yet, and the next circle goes to the two Indonesian squad.
This is insane, RRQ. They need some time to get their health back up, but Evos finds time and they have space. Another shot granted. Chinoy taken down from afar. Aim God making sure that he gets the base cover. Evos smells it once more. They believe in second and third chances, and now they have it!
This is a big one for Evos. They need to put Vitality down and out. They are the only team that can prevent the championship from going to either Evos or RRQ. They've got the numbers. Cypher trying to play spoilers on the side of AGAL. But who does he stop?
Oh no.
Probably no one. 3 Indonesian teams. We call this the Indonesian map. And these 3 squads proving it.
And RRQ now receives heat. Vitality from behind. RRQ in the rough spot. Evos helps them out. Rasha continues to deliver, taking down members by members of Vitality. But the next point of contact is going to be RRQ. Evos, they could just let this happen.
Vitality, they're going in here for the sweep. RRQ in an unfortunate predicament.
Cypher
and Evos allows it to happen. Cypher, bye-bye. Koja steals it.
Look at this, AJ. Look at where Evos is at.
Look at where Indonesia is at the world stage, Husky.
This could be the final lap. We are so close to it. RRQ They need to leave the compound now, but if Vitality moves now, it draws attention away. RRQ makes the move onto the southern side towards the EVOS. Vitality splits to the north. RRQ makes contact first. Rastia delivers 2 in a row. A buy. He needs to shut Rastia down. They caught, trapped in the same spot. Rastia finally gets knocked down. RRQ though, they need to finish the job, but it's not done just yet.
Vitality wants to play spoilers. Unbelievable what we are seeing here at the eSports World Cup. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the heat is just of a different quality. Keep our overshoot down with the Bison. Kyung gets the shot from afar, and now RRQ very low in probability. We still don't crown a champion here yet at Riyadh. Aim God, down you go. Vitality showing that they are a monster. Indonesia, you can ride. You are the best nation in Free Fire right now.
From the grave, Team Vitality wins it in map number 8 and puts themselves on the pedestal. All 3 Indonesian teams now have unlocked the condition of champion rush. Vitality with 3 points.
I think everyone will try to do their games so they need to be solid. It's really balanced. So I don't know if they will do it, but if they do, probably Los will struggle.
الآن نمر إلى المعركة التاسعة ما قبل الأخير. ستكون المعركة شرسة وتتقطع فيها الأنفاس. هيا بنا نشاهد.
Same stuff is not a single booyah at Purgatory so far. So they all have to work against one.
Lost taking Ski Lodge. We got Buriram and Marble Works as always. RRQ at Fire Brigade. Central controlled by Falcon. Something that we expected. Vitality, not to be forgotten, taking Forge. I think for EVOS, once more, just like the previous 2 rounds, they put themselves in a risky position. But we've seen them get out of it time and time again.
Oh yeah. Vitality and Forge, the team. And don't tell me Indonesia does this twice in a row, right?
Come on, man.
To be the last team that activates Champion Rush and then the following game hits a massive booyah and calls themselves champions.
I mean...
But either way, once again, Husky, what a year for the Free Fire fans in Indonesia.
One thing I would say, at least it's not like Sea Spring. We have quality Indonesian teams, consistent, but display consistency and caliber. I think that's the most important thing, right? That's why they're in this spot. Early rotation from Dragon Esports onto EVOS' side. That could end the dream for EVOS on the map. Falcons against RRQ. Their dreams could also be smothered if RRQ loses out on here. Karoro with the first blood, and on the pan to the face, Abai is out.
Oof. The Wonder Kid of the RRQ squad down in the dumps very early on. Dude's going to be charged at RTS-50 in hand, but could not make use of a grenade. Instead will be pounced upon. And these Falcons, you hear the cheers once again. They are trying to boost Falcons up from the 11th spot.
Remember, Pano also brought up, we also brought up, Dragon Esports, they have a good chance to join the rankings. You underestimate them.
Never would I have ever thought.
I mean, they're 12 points away. Well, they have to. Unfortunately, get rid of EVOS.
Yeah.
Unless Core Memory helps them out, and Core Memory has just arrived in Brasilia. So far, Ray, and it's not looking good.
You know, the one thing that's up against Dragon Esports is the fact that you need a booyah to win the championship.
Oh, yeah.
And they have not gotten anywhere
to
a booyah so far.
Russia, he just knocked himself with a grenade launcher. Not like this, EVOS.
Hey,
of all times.
Spoiler time. Core Memory appears out of nowhere.
There's a vending machine. Aim God, you can do this. Bring them back.
And a wild Pokemon appears. Aim God brings them back. Core Memory just saved the chances of EVOS Esports. Unbelievable. Don, time turner. He pulled it out, but Aim God is the one that uses it. Strikes him. Unfortunately gets taken down by Cougar, who appears from the back. But the Wonder Kid has been brought back in. And he has a strong chance to loot up Central here and bring back the rest of his team members.
Just in time for Falcons to have rotated away because they fought RRQ early on. Rasya once more called to action. And he accepts that duty, brings back Ray. EVOS gets another chance at life. And I could have sworn I saw the fear in their eyes, just like last year when they came so close only for this to happen at the worst possible moment. And Rasya knocked himself out with the grenade launcher. Yet he's here to save the team.
You gotta pull yourself together, Wonder Kid. Pain up against Buriram. A fight Buriram just cannot lose. But Pain Gaming feels the exact same way as well. Both of them so close to each other on the overall leaderboard, looking for the activation of this champion rush condition. The winner just stands a better chance. No hope at all to stop the 5. Phenomenal Buriram. Out of the pen, into the fire. Firing range, set up by Fluxo. And they funnel them in, shut them down. Whether we get the championship or not, they will smile that they have managed to stop Buriram. But one final survivor on the side of Buriram. Captain Jonah hits the revive before getting taken down.
It's the revive for Pain too. Peter gets brought back very fast. Falcons encroaching onto EVOS' territory. Or more also, they return to their own territory. Ray will have to be sacrificed here for sure, but the rest of EVOS have been able to make it to Mount Villa. Ray, can he take at least one with them? The answer is no. Kiroro rescued by his teammates. We saw the same exact rotation that EVOS made earlier on Purgatory. If Falcons pursue this, EVOS could meet at early end. But if Falcons decide that they just want to hold Southside because of where the circle is going, EVOS gets a second chance, but then R7 becomes their problem.
Can EVOS pull a Falcons on the competition? From the verge of being annihilated to making a full squad recovery and heading in for a booyah. They've done one too many times here at the Esports World Cup 2025. Might just see that once again as the final player on the side of EVOS gets revived. Ray will catch up with that action in a little bit. For now, the Dragons at the verge of extinction.
Falcons deciding against taking the zip line, but I think they're heading towards golf course. This is not going to be looking good for EVOS. Rigby taking out Ramise. Dragons loses another member. The challenge for EVOS continues on the map. They have R7 to deal with at Quarry and then Marble Works, and a wild Wasana roaming around. But with golf course taken control, the Falcons, it puts loss at very good odds.
Unbelievable.
That de-rotation by EVOS, it might pay off if R7 runs into Falcons.
And obviously,
look at this.
Is going to head on further and further up towards the northern part of Purgatory. And EVOS has got the right rotation here because the probability of it bringing up towards Crossroads and Marble Works is fairly high.
Oh no. I mean, look at this. They have a good chance, but R7 has to go. Either that or Falcons. And they're already starting a gunfight. AimGod playing on the flank. This is a risky move from EVOS. It can still backfire.
Let's see if or not EVOS manages to keep their heads down as they try to get out of here. I expected the engagement between Falcons and R7 to continue on a little bit longer as I say that, Games King. Eliminated from the run. But that should have dragged in another Prey into play as well. EVOS, but we'll catch up with that action in a bit. For now, Thailand versus Thailand. Core Memory meeting AGAL. One of the teams that have activated this champion rush condition. About to have the body ruined by their brothers.
It's going to be very tough. Density getting knocked down as well. Chinoy right through the defenses with the Valiant dash. AGAL making sure that they cover all their bases. Now in the building, the maze of blue walls all being knocked down. Jumping the crossfire. Pun getting knocked down by Cypher. The trade does come true, but AGAL pulls it out from the hat. And they wipe out Core Memory. The run continues.
Oh my, that was way too close. Barros with the grenade launcher, finally making it work for them. And unbelievable stuff here out of Core Memory Esports. After a phenomenal showing at Point Rush, I guess they used up a lot of that creative juice. All of their manifestations for the top was sent in for the wrong day, Husky.
This is not gonna be easy, right? I mean, AimGod was revived. They sent him into the circle because they needed information. BRU could do the same, but they are late to the party, right? It's been so late. Wasana hasn't got a single revive yet because there was nothing left for him. But this is all for the marbles. EVOS knew they had to take this risk, but R7 is waiting for the interception, and there's nowhere to go but forward. In a 3v4 with minimal resources, 3 glue walls for Ray, no medkits. Well, I say that he picks up some, but still minimal to work with.
R7, like you said, could just play spoiler for EVOS Esports. They're in prime position, but they will be tickled by Falcons as well. As you see on the northern side of your screen right now. Lost with a high ground advantage, has got no competition whatsoever to cross on into this next circle.
Oh my goodness, EVOS, that rotation! If we look at the radar, they just made one of the best rotations ever. Dodged a big bullet. Falcons takes on R7 off screen. Look at that, EVOS. Can you believe it?
Miracle right there.
This
Being able to call such a rotation, Husky, is just incredible. They've got the jump pad as well.
Oh my goodness.
And AimGod gives the info that is all wide and clear, brothers.
This is recovery. They have completely recovered from the poor start that they have, and supply drop waiting for them.
To unlock it, AimGod has been sitting here for quite a while already. Goes in for the full unlock. He gets it. With this ad drop, EVOS is right back in it.
This whole grand final has been about second chances, and EVOS keeps getting it.
This is like what, fourth chance?
Yeah, this fourth chance, right? But you know, it doesn't sound as good.
No.
I mean, here nothing is granted, everything is
earned. As long as
earned.
they can wrap it up as the champions, it doesn't matter how it sounds.
They've earned it for sure.
Yeah, but it's getting tougher and tougher, and this is one of those teams that have a high chance of walking away with the Booyah at Purgatory. Problem is, the previous Booyah's loss has grabbed on Purgatory. They have been very aggressive. Now this is the passive version, which I'm not too fond of.
And Vitality just spot the loss out. EVOS needs to continue this rotation, but Buriram right on the horizon. Buriram is a bit more ill-equipped compared to EVOS.
Yep.
If they get to Buriram right now, they get another shot at the championship, and Buriram knows this. Right around the corner, here we go, Ray! Missing it, get high with P90, drops Ray, and that is not what you want if you're EVOS. They block out BRU, but Rasya, he needs to take this fight, he's forced to engage. Kochu and AimGod trying to respond, but Moshi wins that one out. And EVOS falling apart.
Kochil has got the grenade launcher here. Deadly weapon! And with the tag team of Rasya, 2 players down on the ground. Kochil needs to go for the continuous shutdown. And Rasya will give the backup that his brothers terribly need. And the big brothers will smile as their kid, straight off the block, the Wonder Kid himself makes a huge play.
Rasya! Again!
And the Wonder Kid continues to deliver.
And he bails out the team as they take the launch pad deeper into the safe zone, away from the blue. Wasana left reeling once more, and this time in an even worse spot. But the next contender arrives. Dragon Esports in front of EVOS, and Dragons is so close to 80 points.
Oh yeah. Unbelievable, Saudi Arabia, unbelievable. Out of the EMEA region, Dragons Esports with just pure survival gameplay. They've lived out here in the deserts long enough, they know their way around.
There's no more vending machines, and that's what's gonna sting for EVOS. They will play with 3 members for the rest of the round.
For Buriram.
And Buriram gets eliminated. No champion rush for them, sadly. Just not enough points. Lost against Vitality. At least one of them will fall short at the end of this loss. Will take offense. Vitality holding in the building across them. And Lost clearing out the compound. Nando 9 started off. Kyung gets knocked down, but no confirmation yet. The glue wall is just enough. FGL through the glue wall. Riptide with the committed interception. As Vitality keeps on holding.
Wonderful nade into the trailer once again. Vitality pops the Steffi. That bit too late. But that will slow Lost down a tad bit. Nando 9, Riptide Rhythm to the back as AGAL now comes in as the next contender, looking to make Lost as the prey. Valiant dash by Rigby, and 590 And Rahone with the backup. Lost making quick work of the Thai squad.
And Rigby resets his Tatsuya cooldown from that knock. We talk about the nerf. People go for Oscar, but in times of need, that Rebel Rush could make the difference. And AGAL left with Cypher. Left to pick up the pieces, and he falls apart. Lost keeps that run running. But for AGAL, this could be it. There might not be another chance. EVOS is out too.
Vitality is mining at this point of time. So much of resources used up here by Lost just to fight AGAL off. And now, look at Rahone move on in together with Rigby and 590 in their hands. They want a big fight, but A124 bombed as well. And Vitality has no way out. It's a firing squad. General down on the ground. Is this worth it for Lost? They have no choice. And they make it out of there with the skin of their teeth. General. Riptide Rhythm, Rahone, down you go as well. Dragons of all teams are saving it for Southeast Asia as they take those big shots up against the Brazilian squad.
Only Pain and Dragon Esports. Actually, Pain Dragon and Falcons can stop the trophy from being lifted.
Wow.
They gotta stop RRQ. They have to stop Lost. And we've lost out. It's only RRQ left. We might go to a game 10. It might come down to the wire.
Unless RRQ pulls off a miracle run here.
It's the final circle.
Repositioning with the back end where it's all clear. But Lady Luck not on their side.
Oh my
Pulling away the
goodness.
circle. Dragons Esports down. And now the circle with Falcons who are on fire literally. Pina finding Kiba. Big knockdown coming on through. Dudes with the Groza Ma'al looking for that snipe, and the glue wall melters taking down their defenses. M590 courtesy of Ma'al, but Pina strikes once again. The sniper went in too early.
And Limit finds another knock. I think it has happened. Falcons stop the endgame. 20 eliminations. You wanted a miracle, and Team Falcons delivered it at the 11th hour in front of a home crowd. 32 points. And Falcons now joins the ranks of teams who can take it all home and get.
Oh my goodness. We almost had a 7th team make it through, but Pain, they missed out by a point.
By 1 point, Team
مشاهدين الكرام، وصلنا للمباراة الأخيرة حيث صاحب أعلى النقاط سيفوز، خاصة وأن أغلب الفرق جمعوا النقاط المطلوبة وتبقى البوياه فقط. فهل سينجحون بأخذها، أو أن الفرق الأخرى ممكن تصنع معجزة وتكسب نقاط كثيرة في المباراة الأخيرة؟ دعونا نتابع هذه المعركة النهائية ونترقب بشوق من سيفوز معنا اليوم. اكتب في التعليقات من ترشح للفوز قبل مشاهدتك لهذه المعركة الأخيرة، وضع لأيك للفيديو، واستمتع بهذه المواجهة الأسطورية. سيداتي سادتي، ها نحن قد وصلنا للحظة التي انتظرها الملايين حول العالم، المعركة الأخيرة، الجولة الفاصلة، حيث لا مكان للأخطاء ولا مجال للتراجع. هنا على أرض فري فاير العالمية سيولد بطل جديد، بطل لا يعرف الخوف ولا يرضى إلا بالمجد. الفرق صمدت، قاتلت، أبهرتنا بلحظات أسطورية، لكن الآن يبدأ التحدي الحقيقي. كل طلقة قد تصنع التاريخ، وكل قرار قد يحدد مصير الكأس. أيها الأبطال، استعدوا، فالمواجهة الأخيرة على وشك أن تشتعل، ومن سيكتب اسمه بحروف من ذهب؟ فلنرفع حماسنا جميعا ولننطلق إلى المعركة النهائية.
On this map of Bermuda, and one of the conditions that you did bring up before we came back from the break was this pointing us towards the final circle, dragging all the teams somewhere around mill, which means the early rotations are going to be key, and that gives advantage to the teams like Buriram as well as R7. Pain barely needs to move around.
Even when I am looking at the radar, this is madness from RRQ.
Yep.
And EVOS too. especially Evos. I think they're taking the challenge straight to core memory. That works out. They take control of Shipyard. The northern side of the map opens up for Evos, and that's going to set them up for success in the future 5 minutes. Because Limit gets knocked down, Vitality springs into action.
And your reigning champions, Falcons, having no chance whatsoever at the title, regardless of how they perform in this final game. Unbelievable. Massive game that they hit earlier still wasn't enough to activate the champion rush condition. Just one of those teams that woke up a little bit too late, but Pina! What a 180! But the backup was not too far away. Max 7 to his back. And Falcons, 2 players down so early in the game.
Ironically, they needed another 40 bomb to be on the list, but this time it wasn't possible. There's just not enough bodies.
And the quality of the competition this time round, man.
Yes, this is improved. I mean,
and how equal the playing field is, all thanks to the interference of the devs.
Yeah.
Nerfing those active skills that deserve to be nerfed, buddy.
Like
boss!
Double kill.
Losing players that should not be lost.
And once more, Rasya left alone, but no vending machines. They took a risk. They paid such a hefty price. Rasya can head back to Plantation to bring his teammates back, but we've seen this last year. They start the final round to the worst possible start. It's all in the hands of the guy, of this kid who has never been in this spot. Core memory is looking for it. Vitality is nearby. Rasya needs to get further away. Bhima Sakti Strip is the next best stop. And thankfully, he has a vehicle to get him there.
He uses his binoculars on the way into Bhima Sakti Strip as well. Rasya should be able to pick up decent number of coins here to bring at least 2 of his brothers back in before he goes in for the final revival. Bhima Sakti does have a vending machine. As I say that, Coach Shield purchased right back. This kid, one of the fastest players out there. That's exactly how you hit the revive when you get to the vending machine. We saw a little bit of a blooper in the knockout stage. Dragons taking a little too long. They probably didn't really expect to get this far, but what a performance from the Saudi Arabian squad. For Dragons to activate Champion Rush faster than, in fact, the Falcons, Fluxo, Buriram, R7, Core Memory, Pain Gaming.
I mean, you have to be here to believe it. You have to see it to believe it. No one would believe you.
Nobody would believe you if you told them this. Some of our survivors are already asleep. They wake up, you tell them this story, they'll be like, yeah.
And do you know that DRG was top 6 in the finals? And they'll be like, shut up.
They activated Champion Rush. They were contending for the Esports World Cup 2025.
Over BRU, over Falcons, over Fluxo, get out of here. I say Cougar almost ruined the dreams of Evos. I mean, they
Double kill.
if that earlier fight worked out for Evos, they would have been in a prime position to win. But once more, put the to test. And guess who's knocking at the doorstep at peak? Loss is arriving like a storm, and Rigby started off. Rasya is now gone. The rest of his team, they don't have much time to pick themselves up. Another survival run now, forced to be activated.
Ray brings the Wonder Kid back in. Thankfully on the revive now, you drop back in with 2 fuel walls at least, as well as the P90, which is a viable SMG. But what can you do when you are outnumbered? What can you do when you're a sniper who has an SMG in his hands? Rasya needs to drop safe here at peak between his brothers.
Not just that, they go to Pochinok. Maybe they could think about Kotatua. Kotatua is definitely safer, but lesser stuff to work with, lesser resources. You go Pochinok, sure, but then Mars Electric is where Fluxo is at, and that's where they're going to rotate towards north side. Last time, the very first time that Evos had to fight Fluxo head on, they were denied the chance to win it all.
So Riverside is definitely going to get very crowded in a little bit because of the trajectory of our circle. Pain Gaming, Core Memory already there. Falcons, we did spot them approaching the area as well. But as I say, Core Memory, Pain Gaming, my God, you may dominate Point Rush, but that in no way means you're gonna do anything here at the Grand Finals. At least they got their highlight moment on that platform earlier at the start of the day.
And EVO's going into recovery, but I think they will make it work. They just scanned Sentosa, that's where they'll head to. Initially it was by AGAL, but of course AGAL has already made their move up with the Kerathon. This could work out to be good. Whatever is happening at Riverside, these teams take each other out. In fact, it puts teams like Lost at ease. At least the second factor that enables EVOS to lift the trophy at the end shrinks, the odds lessen, the playing field's leveled.
Now this is where sometimes the circle plays a trick on me. Goes the opposite way, but please don't do that.
I think he's gonna go up.
Come on, circle. There you go.
Oh boy.
All right.
BRU smack dab in the middle.
Reads right.
Dragon is there.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I tell you, Dragon's Esports. Who is the analyst for Dragon's Esports? That person needs like 40 to 50% of the prize pool, all right?
Export him
that
somewhere,
person
right?
has single-handedly helped the Saudi Arabian team survive all throughout these Esports World Cup. Purely survival. Dragon's Esports is currently in the top 6 with the least amount of eliminations compared to the top 11 teams.
They got... let's just put it out there. Survival instincts pays off.
Amen, yes.
It was something that we disliked because we knew that eliminations matter a lot more.
Don't count me in, not we. I always...
Or when we were back on cumulative points, that's not the consensus, right? And that's something that at least we could be on the same page about. But I guess in Champion Rush, it does... The perspective does change a little bit, especially when you are already at 80 points. And that's where you really get tested on your fundamentals. And you are forced to fight.
You need to close the game.
You need to close the game.
You need the booyah. So eventually, some eliminations are needed.
Look at this.
Dragons going up against R7 early on. Remind opening up strong up against Game King. The Drogon delivering, but Joker turning the tables instantly on them. Della and Joker. 2 more players left here for the side of R7. Nobody else to pick up as well. Down in numbers. What a play once again from the Saudi Arabian squad.
The worst part is that it's not even Dragon Esports that crippled R7. They were already battered before this fight even began. The Dragon Esports are just here to reap the rewards that was sold by a separate team, but...
Oh, beauty.
Hell, if I'm Dragon Esports, I would take it any day. Della with a good ricochet from the nade, takes that Remind, and maybe R7 can flip the script. Dew now joins the party. R7 is out, Dragon lives on, but Dew continues.
Okay, AG, this is where you hold back, man. Dragon, we're just about to celebrate. Could not pull away all the points off of those knocks. It's a single elimination in hand. But the more important point is Dragons not extinct just yet.
No. Every time I look at EVOS' rotation, this entire grand finals, usually when a team makes such a great rotation, such a big and wide rotation outside the circle, when they're behind, it worries me. We've seen that happen to Flux so many of times, but for EVOS, it's a different feeling. It's a feeling of assurance that they are going to make it happen. And guess what? Right in front of them, if EVOS heads towards Kerathon, it's AGAL.
Level 2 loot for RRQ. Not the best, but it'll have to do for the time being. EVOS up against AGAL. RRQ, potential third party. Right in front of them, Dragons. 4 teams that have activated the chat. And Dragons with the read once again on the circle. You give that analyst a raise, man.
And EVOS with a good rotation too. Launch pad, and they use the binoculars. They move north side. If they can just avoid detection, EVOS puts themselves one more time in a powerful position to win it all. We've said it so many times, and EVOS keeps on proving it. That they are in control, at least for now.
Full squad revive.
Unbelievable.
Everybody tortured. But it's all about the recovery play. But we have to acknowledge EVOS cannot sustain battles out there at this point of time. They need one clean team fight, and they need to loot up their team, and they need to pray to God that team has decent loot on them by the time they take them down, or else it's gonna end pretty early for them.
RRQ is going to take on AGAL2. EVOS was scanned now, I would like to believe, by Falcons. But the dream will end for one of these teams here. The nade on top of the roof doesn't really connect with RRQ just yet. AGAL playing with the building. But the RRQ DNA, when it comes online, they will be in your face. The Oscar Bell and Dash. Ma'al! From shedding tears to tearing AGAL apart. Baros, he's left alive, but RRQ have just done the unthinkable. They shattered the dreams of Dew once more and pushed themselves one step closer to glory.
The recovery play from the sniper that unfortunately went in for the push a tad bit too early. But now, contender number 2, Fluxo, a tad bit late to the party. We asked exactly who can they mess with. Do they mess with the Indonesians right here, right now? Bob's leading the fray. RGS 50 has got the F39 in hand as well. A double launch set up. Bob gets 2 for the price of 1. RGS pulled out once again. And that's a wipe for Fluxo!
And you can hear the hearts of RRQ fans break into a million pieces off of that intervention. Fluxo extinguished the flames of the Kings of Kings right as they were about to step up to the occasion. And what does this mean? EVOS gets freed up. Lost now next on the chopping block.
Give me more, Brazil! Give me more! What an unthinkable lineup of events. Back-to-back Pain Gaming though. Under the bridge like trolls, wiped out. Lost versus Buriram. One has the high ground. One's right down below. Taking the spot of their Brazilian brothers, Pain Gaming. EVOS with the mad rotation. Everybody's playing a troll at this point.
Vitality knows where they are. They share the same freeway as Fluxo, but BRU is there. We got 4 teams that can win it all, but BRU is on a tear. Falcons is still around. Fluxo just got a big team fight win.
4 teams have activated the champion rush condition, still alive. EVOS does not have a lot of loot. Loss just doesn't seem to be threatening just yet, and they have got Buriram to deal with, who have that high ground advantage before they can think about anything else. This circle, this day, this game just keeps on giving. Dragons need to get in though. Jump pad, put it up, spotting out the opportunity, looking for 4 extra points, and the time turner landing. Again, brilliance, but the Riptide Rhythm. Glue Wall melts the response from the Saudi Arabians, but Seamox gets sprayed down. FD7 with a mad spray on the AWM.
They tried, but I think this is where it all ends. Fluxo once more delivers. BRU now puts them in the crosshair, and Fluxo is going to be the next to get eliminated. If pushes in, doesn't get it together. It's him and Bobs, but BRU springs into life. EVO's down under the bridge. Falcons know where they are, but no one could touch them. Circle in favor of Vitality.
He who laughs last, laughs the loudest, and Buriram shutting down 2 Brazilian squad back to back, making sure they don't stand a chance for the Booyah. Rigby, the final survivor of Lost. On the opposite side, you've got 2 players on Fluxo. Buriram, the best team here on the world stage at Bermuda, is heading on in for the victory once again. But you've got 2 teams capable of pulling it away, and they both belong to Indonesia.
It comes down to Vitality against EVOS. Fluxo might ruin all of this for EVOS. All they need is for Lost and Vitality to get knocked out, and EVOS can just lie down and win it all. It doesn't get any easier than this. Fluxo gets wiped out. That's not what you want as EVOS, but you sure as hell want Vitality to go down. But that would have to wait. Falcons against BRU on top of the bridge.
Can Falcons play the spoiler as well? Yes, they can, says Spina. The newest addition to the squad gets the first strike and the second as well. Get high down on the ground. Limit now with the backstab. M590 working perfectly. Jonah out of nowhere throwing in his towel as well.
Oh no!
Fortunately for Buriram, this is where it all goes down. He was up against Vitality on the other hand. Is not looking good at all.
This is the most important fight. It ends under the bridge. Riptide Rhythm.
Oh, too early.
Barely missing. Lost Rigby. Who do you choose to punish? Who do you make a martyr out of? Koju dangerously up on the bridge. Ina might just end it and Koja connects. Evo's so exposed. Falcons can ruin it. And Vitality, they just need to win this, but Falcons being alive means that Vitality cannot breathe just yet. The relief is not yet there. EVOS survives longer.
unbelievable.
Falcons!
What we are seeing in front of us here right now. Oh, Monster Truck fails. Faiz and Russia going for the spray down. EVOS, all their players back up on their feet. Vitality did not manage to put all of their players down and out of it just yet. Ray bleeding out, but the instant picked up thanks to Diva. Aim God pushing on forth once again. It's all about the action now out of the open.
And this is the championship fight. Ray takes down Faiz and Gears. Aim God delivers second in a row. Falcons still have one more guy left. Someone can still be made a sacrifice. The scapegoat to it, but EVOS, they're not gonna wait. Final rush. Fire is back up for the third time, but EVOS, they can smell it. The victory is damn and Vitality. EVOS right in front of them. Here comes the nade.
They've been out by the circle. First nade, Ray, triple. The first team to activate Champion Rush. And the team to end it, Russia with the final elimination. The Wonder Kid gets the job done. 1 month short of his third anniversary with EVOS. The greatest investment, the best player, the MVP of MVPs. The Wonder Kid has helped dominate the world stage again after 6 long years. Champs back then at the Free Fire World Cup 2019, and now the champions of the Free Fire and Esports World Cup 2025.